Let's learn how to use in on at as the prepositions of place. Why is my friend on the plane? Why is my friend on the train? Why is my friend on the bike? Why is my friend on the bus? Why is my friend in the car? Why is Tariq written on the page? At the top of the page. Why is Ahmad written on the page? At the bottom of the page. Why is my friend in hospital? Why is my friend at school? Why is my friend at the bus stop? Why is my friend at the airport? Why is my friend at the traffic lights? Why is my friend at the door? Welcome back to Fourget English. I'm teacher Tariq. Today we're going to talk about how to use in and at as the prepositions of place. In the previous lesson, we learned in and at as the prepositions of time, but today in this lesson, as the prepositions of place. Don't get afraid. It's easy. It's easy. In, on, at. How to use in, on, at as the prepositions of place. Why is the car? Why is the car? The car is in a town. In a town. On the road. At the traffic lights. Why is the car in a town? Two-dimensional space. Two-dimensional space. Two-dimensional enclosed space. Town. So we use in the town. In a town. Why is the car in a town? On the road. On the road. Surface consideration. On the road. On the road. Surface consideration. On the road. And precise location. Where? On the road where? In a town where? On the road. On the road where? At the traffic lights. Precise location. In, on, at. One more example. Where is Angela? Angela is in a garden. Two-dimensional enclosed space. In a garden. In a garden. On the ground. And at the table. Precise location. At the table. Why is David? David is in the yard. In the yard. Why is David? In the yard. At the door. Precise location. On the steps. Surface consideration. Surface consideration on two-dimensional space, enclosed space consideration. We use in the yard. Surface consideration on the steps, and precise location consideration at the door. One more example. Why is the box? Where is the box? The box is in a room
in a room. Three-dimensional. Three-dimensional enclosed space. In a room. Surface consideration. On the table. On the table. Surface consideration. On the table. Precise location. At the window. Some more examples. In, we say in a room, in a shop, in a car, in the water, in a garden, in a town, in the city center, in France. Where lived? In the kitchen, in the garden, in London. In London. What's in that box? In that bag? In that cupboard? Angela works in a shop, in a factory. I had to swim in the water, in the sea. Milan is in the north of Italy. I live in a town, but I want to live in the country. At. Some more examples with at the bus stop, at the door, at the traffic lights, at her desk. There is somebody at the bus stop, at the door. The car is waiting at the traffic lights. Julia is working at her desk. At the top, at the bottom, at the end of. Write your name at the end of the page, at the top of the page. My house is at the end of the street. At the bottom. On a shelf, on a pallet, on a balcony, on the floor, on a wall, on a door, on the ceiling. There are some books on the shelf and some pictures on the wall. And there are lots of apples on those trees. Don't sit on the grass, it's wet. There is a stamp on the envelope. Who is that man on the motorbike? In this way we use in and at. Some more examples. In, we say in bed, in hospital, in prison. Where's cat? Where's cat? She is in bed. Where's Kitty? She is in bed. David's father is ill. He is in hospital. In the town, in the sky. I like to look at the stars in the sky at night. In the world, what's the largest city in the world? In a newspaper, in a book, I read about the accident in the newspaper. In a photograph, in a picture. You look sad in this photograph. In a car, in a taxi. Did you come here in your car? In the middle, there's a big tree in the middle of the garden. At home. Will you be at home this evening? At work, at school. Where's Jill? She's at work. At university, at college. Helen is studying law at university. At the station, at the airport. Do you want me to meet you at the station? At Jane's. At Jane's house. At my sister's house. At the doctor's, at the hairdressers, like that, etc. Where were you yesterday? At my sister's. I mean that at my sister's house. I saw Tom at the doctor's colony. At a concert, at a party, at a football match. In this way we say on the first floor, on the way from A to B. On a bus, on a train, on a plane, on a ship. Did you come here on the bus? On the ground floor, on the first floor. The office is on the first floor. On the way home. I met on the way to work, on the way home. In this way we use in and at with these examples. Thank you, dears.